Hey guys, another video. 1 day, 6 hours, level 94. That's 6. So I'll go over the changes I've done. I've done quite a few, and then I'll play a quick map and talk about some of the changes I may do in the future and the thought process behind them, so maybe you can make the right choices for yourself if I screw up. So, mainly right now I spec'd into a lot of attack speed. Let me show you what I did. My damage now, 24k. I have no auras yet. I switched to a haste. The whole theme today is dropping damage and getting attack speed. So, yeah, 24k, and it goes to 29 with Shaper of, or Pendulum of Destruction. I'll show you the skill tree out in a second, but I use haste now to get attack speed, and I'll show you the tree changes. But first, increased duration, void manipulation, and power 4. I had this yesterday. Control destruction, molten shell increase daily. My flame blast is leveling some of the support gems, so that's the damage there. I changed out one of my rings, so I could now be capped resistances, and I took skill point in normal now instead of the resistances. Originally I had resistances, but now I have the skill point. Let me show you. Aramir has granted you the bonus passive skill point in normal, so I don't have the resist in normal anymore. So that's what happens. I can show you here as well. Deal with the bandits normal right here. So it's only because I fixed my resist on my rings that I'm able to pull. I think you need 169 for red map elemental weakness, and that's what I did there. Everything else is the same. Oh, I should mention that you need a high level poacher's mark on your curse on hit, otherwise your curse is going to proc off cast when damage taken. So, you know, mine is high enough because this requires level 38 and this requires level 42. But I got more decks because I spec'd into different stuff now, so I can use like an even higher one, but that's a different story. Yeah, so let me show you the tree changes I did. So you see I'm using haste instead of anger now. Everything else is the same, I think. Okay, so the tree changes, as you can see, I'm getting the attacks and cast speed here. I dropped all this stuff here and all the attack speed here, and I went down to get the pot nodes, because I may drop this later, but I feel like it provides a lot of safety in the beginning of a map where I'm most vulnerable to having no pots and dying because I have my leech down, or you know, all my defensive pots down or whatnot. So I spec'd into that for that purpose of being defensive in the beginning of a map. And I got like attack speed jewels, like full-blown attack speed. 3 sack harvest, attack speed jewels, and like some ES attack speed and spell. As you can see, I also dropped this area, chaos damage. I'm just dropping damage all over the place and just picking up, you know, this area and this area, and you know, this area. Because I was gonna get this, but then I feel like the cast speed is worth it, because this is 12 attack speed, whereas this is 9 attack speed and 9 cast speed. So 3 attack speed for 9 cast speed. I will pay that, and it's not bad, and I get 20 decks. So that's what I did. I may switch this later. I was gonna spec into massive ES, but right now my Whirling Blades is 265, and I think it goes to like near 300, 299 or something at full with frenzy charges and the boosts, attack and cast speed off the boots. So those are the changes I did, and I kept dropping damage because I didn't feel like I need it. It felt really strong even with no damage. Like if I just activate a molten shell off of nothing, just 24k, it still one-shots everything, and I'm like buffed to like super high damage, like 66 or something, with full buffs off of frenzies and what's that node called? Elemental overload. So I don't feel like I need the damage at all. So if you're playing this, you actually don't really need damage unless you're like doing some hard bosses. I would recommend you spec into attack speed. As you can see, it's 318 right now, so I'm getting quite a bit of attack speed. 318 attack speed on increased main hand attack speed modifier. So here it is. This is the build. I guess I should mention flask. The flask you need is you need 3 suffixes: the shock, bleed, and freeze. And you don't want to put those like I'm 61k when I have the everything's up. When I drop everything, it goes down quite a bit, but even that just like completely one-shots everything. The flask you need is anti-freeze, anti-bleed, and anti shock. And I don't recommend putting any of those on the mana pot, because you need that like constantly up when you have pots up. So make sure you get like 3 suffixes. I think those are like mandatory for like every character, and be able to keep them up all times. And like that's why I like spec'ing in the pot nodes. I wasn't comfortable in keeping them up 100% of the time without the pot nodes, so I spec'd into them, and it feels alright. I may drop them later if I want like crazy amounts of attack speed. Like I was at 340 or something earlier on my first video, and that was a bit too much because I was getting kicked all the time. So I spec'd out of it, and those are the pots you need. Also a Ziri's flask, because that's how you get your leech. The other thing I want to mention is if you don't want to rely completely on a Ziri leech, as Ziri's promise, 2% chaos damage leech as life, then you need to use like a Warlord's Mark, which provides that, and you got to be careful on curse immune stuff. So that's the things you got to do to solve your leech problems. The other stuff you can do is get leech on boots, which helps a little bit. And you can get, I think, 0.5% life leech and mana leech, which is really good for sustaining mana. But right now, I don't even have mana problems because I spec'd into the pot nodes, so my random regen goes out to like 40.8 mana regenerated per second, which is actually quite high. I want to drop the pot and use like a granite or a rumies or something else, but I don't feel comfortable on like no regen maps or running out of flame blast or whatnot. So those are the changes right now, and there's other stuff you can do. Like I don't feel like you need damage, so you can do other fancy things and maybe crazy things. Like I was thinking, I tried using elemental proliferation. It's a lot less damage, but it has a better AOE than the witch node, whatever the witch node is. Beacon of Ruin. Elemental proliferation is like 12, and I'm not even sure if Beacon of Ruin gets affected by increased AoE stuff, so AoE can be a lot better with elemental prolif. Maybe I'll try that again later. But for now, this is what I'm doing with the character, and dropped a lot of damage for attack speed. That's what happened today, and I'll keep you guys updated next time in the future. If you have any comments, questions, feel free to type below the video. I'll try to answer them as soon as possible. See you guys next time.